Describe what that means. I've actually never heard that term.
An anarcho-capitalist is a person who believes in anarchy and capitalism.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any qualms?
So your philosophy is that you want, like, let's put it this way, a United States that has no order in it. Is that the ballpark? Like no enforcing force. Is that what I'm hearing, or I'm trying
No
to see what
state control over. We believe that
no state control.
all the functions of the state should be privatized.
Privatized?
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad thing. In
Mm-hmm.
some ways, it isn't a bad thing because currently the government of the United States is more involved than ever because they want to be in control when they're not supposed to. They were, like, let's put it this way: when the U.S. government first started, they didn't want it to be like the United Kingdom government, so they gave all the freedoms. But over time, U.S. government evaporated into imperialist power that wanted to regulate everything it shouldn't. So now, since they have that, we have these crooked politicians going in there making all this money when they're not supposed to. They shouldn't. And it's really freaking sickening. But yeah, I understand your philosophy, but I also understand a different philosophy of like the middle marker, if you understand what that means. Because at the same time, we shouldn't have it,
So
but
like minimal government or
yeah,
like smaller
minimal. Yeah,
government, you mean?
exactly.
So you're a
Exactly. Like,
minarchist?
but yeah, I'm in the middle on a lot of things because like the government, yes, its current way of doing things is bad, but also having just a little government intervention when it's needed is a different thing. Because like there's no defining things that tells you when the government should intervene. Because nowadays it just intervenes whenever it benefits the
Government should
government.
never intervene.
Yeah, but in some cases, it should. Like, if the company is doing something that hurts the people and cries. Is there a guy with a Donald J. Trump? Yeah, there it is.
We could have insurance companies that could insure people's private property against violence or torts against other
Yeah,
people.
exactly. But no.
No way. Is that Donald Trump?
Is that the Donald J. Trump?
No
Holy
way.
cow, I'm such a fan.
No way. Nothing? Okay.
No,
He's the
no,
first
Oh, he
libertarian
left.
president.
No, Donald Trump left.
That's not.
It's our libertarian president. What the?
Bro,
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
literally ready to hear Donald Trump impression from him. I was actually excited for that.
Yeah, I
But
was
yeah,
hoping to hear.
I'm more of a middleman because at the same time in society there has to be some form of order. But I also understand your philosophy completely because currently the government intervenes so much over like
We're not against
anything.
order. We're just against
KingSithis is
tyrannical
now live
order.
streaming World
okay.
of
We
Well,
believe
yeah,
in
that's what-
spontaneous
To
order.
AnCaps.
Yeah, I believe in order in a different way, but yeah, I understand your philosophy completely. Because
You got to join us, man.
Yeah, I don't really know because most political views, it's in a general aspect. I just believe there should be minimal everything, not just that, but also the government of the United States has just evaporated so much into this powerhouse that there's not. It's just ugh. There's so much corruption and then so much power to the executive office that allows the executive office to change more than the other branches, which is a problem.
So, but like you don't hold that like these are like inherent issues with government. Like you think there are certain restrictions that can be placed on government to prevent this. Is that your idea?
My thing is first we need to limit the government and find out and then find out what it needs to be allowed to do and what shouldn't. Like national defense, yeah, give it to the government because like it's the thing that funds the national defense. But like private businesses and all that being regulated by a bigger power, it's like a bully, and it doesn't need to be happening. But there also should be restrictions to those private businesses. Because let's put it this way: if the private business starts affecting the well-being of the state or the country, then the government should be allowed to step in. But that doesn't happen a lot, so I don't know why the government gets to have this like whole righteous power, like because there's Better Business Bureau and all that in my state. I'm like, okay, why?
F the state.
So, like, when you say like there are certain things the government should do, like when it comes
Arcane, wow, what's going on, man? Wait, isn't that a private server? Arcane WoW or no?
to like regulate businesses, or the government needs to do that, to protect like the public. Like what exactly like what would be
Okay,
a
so
scenario to you where
I
like the
think
government should step in to stop businesses from doing some practice that maybe like you would
so
consider harmful?
let's put it this way. Okay, I don't really have a distinct scenario. That's why it's really hard to regulate this kind of stuff. Because when you limit the government, there's like all these scenarios can pop up. A lot of scenarios.
Yeah.
Like let's put it this way. Amazon, right? Amazon the powerhouse. They run in here and they start like raising prices so high or start abusing their little corporate legal loopholes and stuff, and it starts hurting the consumer and it goes nationwide or statewide. In fact, in the state or government can't act on it because they have so much limited. In
So
that
you
kind of
dropped turtles
situation, I
for good.
believe they should
They did cancel
be
Unreal
allowed to
Project,
use
but
what
TWAO
they
is staying.
have.
I stopped live streaming it. I'm not gonna not play it.
This way, if the government in the United States wasn't able to regulate business and the businesses were able to do whatever the hell they want legally, and something happens where the government can't do anything about it, it just really affects infrastructure and the power of the government. Because at the same time, if we want order in a society or anything, the government should be able to show it's the top dog. But at the same time, modern days, the government is not only top dog, it's the top like police force, which it shouldn't be. It should be the top governance, not the top policing.
Oh, I see.
But, you know,
What is that new private server you spoke earlier?
So, let me think of what to ask.
I'm saying this in some terms like there's no distinct scenario that would explain my.
Oh, I haven't. I don't think I mentioned one.
There's no, oh, if this happens again, this is gonna happen. No, because hell, I should research most of it because there is
In the case of,
oh, yeah,
sorry,
continue.
go on.
No, I'm gonna look
Well,
something up. You can, yeah.
I was just gonna ask, like, in the case of like that's the kind or the Amazon case you brought up. That's the kind of case I often like hear where it's like you have some business and maybe it's what people term price gouging, right? It's like, oh, they're raising prices very high, or some sort of practice like that, which may not be the best for the consumer, right? Where it's like, oh, like prices are going up for them, whatever, right? What exactly like? So it seems that then like in those kind of cases, like you're sort of disregarding like the property rights of like people involved at these businesses, because you're saying like regardless of what people at a company like Amazon may want to charge, right, at some point in time, if they begin charging exorbitantly high prices, then at that point that is sufficient cause for the government to step in. So like why is it that like sometimes it's okay to force businesses to act in certain ways?
So here's an example. I actually remember this because I was thinking about that. So in the 1900s, when Theodore Roosevelt was president, I think it was like 1898, something like that. So the meat packing industry, it had a lot of legal downs that nobody knew about. Like the meat that they were selling, it's been on the floor, it's been covered in rats, it's had like disease all over it, right? So what happened was Roosevelt sent in like spies to go in and check it out, and they found that out. So what happened was the Food and Drug Association was made to make sure that it was regulated. That kind of instance is what I think about in these kind of situations, because the companies can do, if we had no regulation over that, let's put it this way, if we have never had regulation over businesses to have the better good for the consumer, that kind of instance would have kept going. Hell, the meat packing industry could be the same as it is today if Roosevelt didn't step in and like have disgusting meat and really tarnished food.
I would think that like if
Well, You can't see the counterfactual for something like that. How do you know that we would have been even more safer if he hadn't put those things in place? That correlation doesn't equal causation.
That's factual. Yeah, yeah. It's factual. But let me put it this way: if Roosevelt didn't do anything about it, there's a lot that is. Yeah, I'll give it to you. That it's a Pandora's box. You don't know what happened. But what happened is what happened, and it benefited the consumer more than the producer.
Yeah, but how do you know that it was that exact policy that was made it so that things became more safe? It could have been that competition in the market incentivized businesses to be more safer, to incentivize more people to buy their food as opposed to other people's food.
Yes, but also that could have been a way, but also the immediate response of the company showed that the FDA was effective because in history, literally the companies changed their entire book to make sure they weren't get freaking flagged immediately after the FDA was formed and they started doing inspections. Pretty sure they called them muckrakers or what the heck they called it.
Yeah, but the issue is that whenever you put any sort of regulation, you put a barrier of entry into that market, thus making it so that there is less businesses that are able to enter that industries, making it easier for it to consolidate or monopolize than it would be otherwise.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, let's remember in history, it used to be the big business was controlling the government, and there was very big instances that showed how big business, or any business, in fact, that had any political influence or power or no regulation happened. It wasn't good for the people, it was good for the business. But I also see how you guys are like, I completely understand your philosophy. I think if we add some of it to the current system, it would benefit the consumer more than it is now. But also the fact is, because like you guys are just saying, let the businesses breathe. That's what you guys are saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just let them breathe, no
Yeah.
regulation. But at the same
Yeah.
time, what I'm just saying is that there needs to be at least a little bit regulation in certain circumstances. Like, let's put it this way: get rid of the entire government regulation crap. What about health codes? What about all that beautiful stuff?
Fuck that.
I mean, that is government regulation.
Yeah, that
right?
is government regulation. Fuck that.
So, but how would we know if the businesses would be healthy or sell their product good?
Yeah, I think they would like self-regulate, or like you could have private
No, but
agencies that would accredit them.
But you're not, dude. But my
Like I
question
think
is,
it would be in
how
their
would we
interest to
hold
like
them to that standard?
by their market
Well,
What if
forces.
they
right?
there
You
could be
don't-
private accrediting agencies that could do that. Like if they're, you know,
But what says the agencies aren't going to get bought off? There's a lot of circumstances where the business buys.
well, they're
people
less
off.
likely to be bought off because if they are bought off, people aren't going to want to use their logo on their goods, so they're going to be incentivized to not be bad.
But at the same time, the companies can and will most likely do the cheapest thing. And if they can buy off the inspections to do the cheapest thing, they probably would.
Yeah, but doing
We
the
were saying-
cheapest thing isn't always
Yeah,
what is
I
the best thing?
understand. Exactly, but yeah, exactly. But at the same time, here's the thing. There are some good business and there's some bad business. Like, let's put the defense industry in play. Do you think they would give a damn if a family of 5 was blown up by their own product, by their own people?
Yeah, it would look terrible
in
for
the
them.
Middle
I think
It would
absolutely
look bad
they
for
would.
them
Exactly.
because a lot
So-
of people wouldn't want to buy their product.
Like notice how when you think of these scenarios, like the point is like, oh, how terrible this would be. Like if it was so terrible, people would not like be buying as much from these companies, if at all, right? That would be terrible for their business.
Yeah, I
So
see
why
it.
would they? The idea is that like businesses have an incentive to
Most people are
really
not
not,
fucking
like, engage
destitute
in
like
these
this guest is
harmful
pretending
practices
is the case.
precisely
In
because
America,
it's unprofitable. If
More
people see
capitalist
them
countries are
in these
wealthier than
scandals, right,
non-capitalist
that
ones
can
on average.
collapse businesses entirely.
Also, when countries become
Yeah,
more
but-
capitalist,
So that's the idea. That's all right.
There's
That's like how
okay.
we're approaching it.
Yeah, I see it. You guys have a really good point. But let's put it, there's some businesses where public opinion does not matter at all. There's like literally some industry that they don't give a damn about public opinion. It's literally just about they make money.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
there's some
if they don't make money, if they don't care about what their customers think,
that's but that's the point I'm making. The government gets those regulations and folds their hand to do what the consumer wants. Because if, let's put it this way, if the oil industry jacks their prices up, the industry, let's put the industry, they decide, all the companies meet up and they're like, oh, hey, let's jack our prices up. There's nothing to stop them. And the people who buy that oil, they can't do anything because
the
not
free
everyone can
market will stop
afford it.
them. And the reason why it'll stop them is because if they start raising their prices, then another business will come in and be like, hey, I could take it, I can actually steal their customers away and have them buy my product if I undercut them. Then they undercut them,
That
and
does
then
make sense.
what do you mean?
That doesn't. No, I'm saying that makes sense. No, I was saying that.
Oh, okay.
It's only I say it doesn't. Yeah, I made that.
Whenever there's regulation in the way to stop businesses from competing, then you see that those businesses be allowed to sort of consolidate like that.
Yeah, I can see it like that because like government does some, because like businesses buy off government people all the time and it allows them to limit down competition. I
Mhm.
can see that. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I completely agree with that one. Because
Yeah.
a lot of regulation allows them to. But yeah, my just main point again is just like in certain scenarios you should have government intervention, but not all the time. I believe the market should be able to flourish by itself and not just have, oh,